Yo, what up, big dog? So today, guys, we're gonna talk about how you gonna move from writing your manuscript to getting published. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of guide you through the process. It's pretty kind of simple, but at the same time you must be sure on what you're doing, and it doesn't have anything to do with manager or anything like that. It's just you. It's up to you. So stay on. So here's the big if, right? Should I go look for an agent? Should I go look for someone to try to sell this? So the difference nowadays is you can do that. It's gonna take you a lot of time, until you get accepted, because unless you get a referral, you're not gonna get the attention of the agent, to try to sell your book, unless you have something, in the area of fantasy or anything like that, that it has like a strong push. So that's the main thing. Second is, like, if you want to self-publish, the biggest benefit is like you keep all the royalties. Like Amazon is amazing for that, and I believe that if you're writing something, you should do something original, right? So when you look for it, the way you're gonna get published, if you're willing to put in the work, self-publish, because then you're gonna reap all the rewards. It doesn't really matter if you're selling like 6,000. I mean, it does matter, but yeah, let's say you're selling 6,000 books, and you're getting a check from 6 months to 6 months with royalties, basically cents, like that's what like these companies do, And if you self-publish, you get checks from Amazon from 3 months to 3 months, and you keep all the royalties. You choose the how much you're gonna charge and all that. So how you professionally go about this is the thing, like once you know your manuscript is over, you need to just now get it retouched by someone professional. The next move is to look someone to edit. You gotta go to Fiverr. This is what I recommend. So you go to Fiverr, pick up a good guy with like a decent background that has done some editings, and you lock in with this person. All right, me was a woman called Angela, and she was very fucking cool. She really took care, and she enjoyed like what I was writing, which is my book called Who Would Have Thought, the Survey with PTSD Story. We sold around 1,080 something copies so far, and it's been a thrill. But at the same time though, you gotta keep the tabs on, you know what I mean? You gotta understand where you want to achieve. The challenge with my book, and it can be your book too, is my book doesn't have a category. My book is literary fiction. My book is called Who Would Have Thought, the Server with PTSD Story. So it's about a server. He works in a restaurant and he's developing PTSD from the restaurant, but he doesn't know. He just thinks he's going crazy. That's when he gets introduced to cannabis by his coworkers. Therefore, he starts changing his mind, therefore changing his life, So it's a whole journey. I wrote the modern American myth, the social media area that we're living in. This is very important. I feel like nobody's really reporting that in a storytelling way, Like all the characters that you meet in my book is gonna be, archetypes of the modern world, like a server, for example. There's a character named Taylor in the book. She wants to be an influencer, and she has an OnlyFans, she's doing TikTok, and she wants to go viral, so it's not a main character, but she's one of the, she trains the main character when she gets hired, when he gets hired in this nightclub, and they go a lot together. Also, it's a fun book. I think like if you work in restaurants, it's gonna hit you really hard, and then if you work in the military too, there's a military character called Frank, that makes every veteran relates to it. Everybody comes up to me. This is my biggest moment. The moment that I'm the happiest is when I get like all these people coming up and be like, yo, thank you very much, I feel seen, so this is what you should look for when you're writing. So yes, I mean, think about this. If you're willing to go on the journey is gonna be rewarding. I just have to keep my book sales up, I do have to work a lot. Like I gotta do stand-up, comedy shows. I gotta do podcasts and all that to see if the numbers keep pumping. You know what I mean? Because there's nobody really looking for anything related to my book on Amazon, right? Like people go to fantasies, people go to horror, people go to sexual shit, and yeah, once they know about my book, they want to buy it, but a lot of people don't know. That's the issue. You know, if you publish with a fucking company, they might take care of that, but I think you can do that. You know, if you're really willing, you can do it. Once you get the editing done, now you're gonna format the book. So you're gonna go again to Fiverr. You're gonna get a formatter. Somebody's gonna like know what's the Amazon, you know, like requirements, and he's gonna get that for you. And then also at the same time, you're gonna go look for someone to do the cover. All that should take you around $1,500, to be honest, because you wanna get a decent job, you know. Don't trust AI if you wanna really do that, you know what I mean? Like, this is gonna miss the human touch. And I think that's very different, you know. If you wanna go to ChatGPT and edit the book on ChatGPT, you know, you can, like what I did, to be honest, I downloaded grammar and I pay grammar, and then I edited my book like around 4 to 5 times myself. And then I hired this Angela woman just for her to do the proofreading, you know. So she did proofread and then was ready, and then now it's out there, you know. You do not want to publish a book that is gonna have blunders on it, because then people are gonna come after you and they're not gonna be nice. You know, nobody's paying money for something that's like can be written for like a 14-year-old, you know. So pay attention to those details when you're publishing, because they're very important. So to understand a little bit about the market of you know, you gotta market this book. So you gotta understand that Amazon, they work with algorithm, right? So the book, once you're gonna publish, you gotta hype it up. You know, you gotta make people know, you gotta make them buy on the day of the release. If you can even have some of them pre-order the book, even better. So the algorithm is start doing its thing, you know. So all that you're gonna accomplish by the grind you're willing to put in, all right? So once you finish the manuscript, remember, you're gonna edit it, download grammar, do that, that's the best. That app is fantastic, you know. You can download grammar, put the book in there, and then it's gonna show you how, like, oh, this is more professional, this is the way to go. Then I'm gonna make everything look nice and professional and polished, you know. So then you send it to the editor, you know, to proofread. Then once it's proofread, format, cover, boom, publish. And then you just gotta keep doing it, you know. So I think that's the best option nowadays, to be honest. And, you know, keep writing. Because as my dear friend Gabriel Garcia Marquez would say, you know, the Colombian writer, if you can't live without writing, do not write. See you guys soon. Keep it up.